just wash your face and put some sunscreen on daily. I think cigarettes are coming back.
I've lost it. She's gone rogue, folks.
The Botox you're getting in your late 20s is going to be a lot different than when you get into your mid 30s, I think, too.
Like, age is just a number.
Right.
Look at the anatomy. Look, if you are in the mirror and you're doing this, pulling back on your face,
and you're like, oh, that would make me look better.
You need a facelift.
Yes.
Not because you need it, but because what I can do in the treatment room
does
won't
not do
satisfy you as much as a facelift will.
Right.
How many times when my Botox wears off do I tell you how ugly I look?
It's evident by the 10 pictures that I get per day. Welcome to Fill and Tell, where we spill the tea on all things aesthetics.
We're your hosts. I'm Megan.
And I'm Lauren.
We're here to give you the inside scoop on what goes on behind the treatment room door.
From filler to facelifts, skincare to aesthetic secrets.
We're taking you behind the scenes of the industry with unfiltered conversations, expert insights, and maybe a little gossip along the way. If you've ever wondered when you're supposed to start Botox, whether you're already too late, or why aesthetic treatments feel so overwhelming, this episode is for you, because we're going to go through which procedures and products we feel are the best per decade.
Yeah. So I think it can be overwhelming about when to start, what to do, what treatments to pick. TikTok and Instagram are full of a million things, right? Like, we each individually talk about so much every single day, every single week. And so you always feel like you maybe need the latest and greatest, or you need the newest cleanser that just came out, or you need the newest laser that just came out. But really kind of understanding where you are in your aging journey, how you want to age, what you want that to look like. And then these are some of the best treatments that we have found in practice
that help with where you're at in your decade, sort
of
prioritizing.
And maybe if you're new or you're trying to learn, you can plan, maybe you're 38 and you've never done anything. Well, then you could kind of lump some of these together
And that goes back to also why we love the consultation process, because you really go through the aging process, what has happened, what will be best for you at this point in time in your life, and then kind of what you can look forward to in the next year of that treatment plan.
I think that's huge. Is finding somebody who you can sit down with and really make a tailored plan. Because you may have a menu, right? We may have a menu of services, but you don't need every single service. And so getting somebody to give you that plan.
And again, it's about being realistic. It's not necessarily about looking 22 again. It's about what's best for you and kind of the healthiest version of your skin in this decade. So let's start with 20s. And I kind of feel like 20s is a little bit young, so I almost feel like you need to break it down into like
early 20s
late 20s because and I think of it that way because late 20s is when I got Botox for the first time. I think I got it when I was 27 because I was seeing those etched in lines. So if you are in your early 20s, I think the simplest thing for you is
20 and 21.
Why do you say that? 20 and 21. What do you mean?
I feel like that is such a complete, almost like a separate decade from 26 and beyond.
Oh, no, I agree. Like early 20s, like even 23, I was just so different than...
Think about what I was doing at 20 and 21. I don't think I took my makeup off. I probably did use a makeup wipe occasionally. Yeah. I was drinking a ton, smoking cigarettes, acting like a daggum fool.
I was not smoking cigarettes.
I think cigarettes are coming back.
I've lost it.
I heard this on Instagram the other day too. Like, this lady was just like, bring cigarettes back, but don't bring the health negativities back, right? Like,
so we're using them for like the vibe?
I think maybe, right? It was so funny because it was like nobody questioned the 15-minute break, where you were, what you were doing, but everyone knew it was a smoke break. I mean, I wasn't that far into it, but like college, I loved a Camel Crush.
She's gone rogue, folks. I can't reel her in at this point.
So that's what I was doing at 20 and 21, right? So like
absolutely no skin health.
No.
The
but at
nicotine was causing you to have
26, I was in a
early
much different
glycation.
space. Yeah.
Okay, so if
Back
you're
to
not
20.
Lauren and you're 20 and or you are Lauren and you find yourself smoking a Camel, the best thing for you to do is, I would say, prevention, which would be sunscreen, and take your makeup off.
Yeah, absolutely. Just wash your face and put some sunscreen on daily.
Ditch the tanning bed,
For sure.
because that is going to age you so quickly, just like cigarettes will.
Yes. I mean, ditch cigarettes too, but whatever.
You don't need much now. Really, I think it will pay dividends if you think about sunscreen and you take your makeup off.
Right.
And you are in your early 20s, please just go live your life.
Exactly.
Also,
Go have fun.
Go live your life and smoke a Camel.
Right.
Late 20s.
Late 20s.
Here's where we get into a true prevention. In my opinion, sunscreen is still super important. But
I think your skin is a little bit more resilient right now too, because maybe you've already gone through some hormonal stuff. You might be in like a good place with your skin. You can tolerate a lot more. Once you get into your 30s, 40s, beyond, like all these skin concerns start to really come up. In your 20s, you don't have to spend the most money on skincare. You can buy very simple products that still will work well for your skin, I think.
Agreed.
And so just getting a good routine. Maybe you're, again, washing your face at night, doing some moisturizer, sunscreen in the morning. Maybe you're doing some vitamin C or something thrown in the mix. And you're starting to maybe do some skin cell turnover with retinol. But I think in your late 20s, you can still do a lot of those things over the counter. It doesn't have to be like the highest price point skincare.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mentioned that I did do Botox for the first time. I think I was like 27, but this is also the time when I first ever tried a vitamin C serum, and it was like game changing for my skin. So like Lauren said, I think the big three would be great for someone in their late 20s. This will help with collagen. Mm-hmm. This will help with sort of just building back a good foundation.
And the type of Botox you're getting in your late 20s is going to be a lot different than when you get into your mid 30s, I think, too. Mm-hmm. You can get away with doing a little bit less. You can get away with doing, maybe just a couple of areas, and you can get away with only doing it probably twice a year.
Yeah.
So, that's where dosing will be different, right? So if you're 27 and you're just getting it for the first time versus if you have a friend who's 36 and now we're starting to get upper and lower face, like those mm-hmm. numbers and units and just treatments are going to look extremely different.
Agree. So 30s, this is our decade. I definitely feel like it's the decade of collagen banking, maybe a little bit of mild correction, only because, you've been in the tanning bed probably, or you've, been to the beach and not worn sunscreen, or you've smoked a cigarette.
Yeah. And also anatomical reasons, right? Like I see a ton of patients who are young in their early 30s, sometimes even in their late 20s, but like they have different bone structure that will cause things to look a little bit different versus, we all have different face shapes, right? Someone is oval, someone is round, someone's more square. So like using those anatomical differences, it doesn't necessarily mean you've lost fat and lost a ton of collagen, but maybe you're just deficient in an area because of your anatomy.
Agree, yeah.
So somebody who has a huge, hollow under their eye probably is because they have a naturally flatter cheek. So even though you're 28 or 30, we can still correct that or improve that with HA filler. So it's not to say that it's off limits.
Yeah,
so just keep that in mind.
I completely agree. It's kind of like actually supporting your structure and going for things that will make a change.
Yes.
Versus kind of, there could be somebody who needs a true facial balancing, but really just kind of going for those specific areas that can help, like you said.
Yeah, so what are we really doing in our 30s? Botox a couple times a year, 2 to 3. Most of my patients are at 3 times unless they really want to be frozen, and then they're at 4 times a year, but most people can get away with 2 to 3 times a year.
Yes, because I really feel like even if even if you feel like you look fine or you know, you don't have these deep set wrinkles, this is really where we start to see the aging accelerate. I
Right.
mean, we've lost 1% of collagen at this point starting in our late 20s, so we're really starting to see it show up in the mirror. So I agree with you with Botox.
We're really diving into consistent quality skincare as well. You know, 30s are where you're going to start to see hyperpigmentation come up. Rosacea loves to peak and flare in your 30s, so you might notice some redness or some vessels that are starting to form. You might be noticing some acne that's forming. So there are going to be things that come up that you actually need some good quality skincare to start correcting. And I think this is really where you invest in a solid morning and evening routine and commit to doing it every single day.
Yep. And it really will lead you through your 30s into your 40s. And you will notice that friends who aren't investing in skincare will start to look a lot older. But it's all about priorities too. And then I think some form of collagen stimulation could be smart here, whether that's Sculptra or even a CO2 laser. I don't think you
Or maybe
need,
both.
Yeah. I don't think you need, this deep aggressive laser resurfacing, but everyone's very different. We are kind of just speaking in general terms.
Right.
But
But using them in conjunction, like we've said previously, so stacking some treatments are going to give you the best outcome. So combining Sculptra and your Cool Peel, combining Sculptra and microneedling. So you're getting that injectable collagen stimulation, and then you're also getting some trauma-induced collagen stimulation, which is going to lead to brighter skin, less fine lines, but you're also going to be, building back that dermal layer.
Yeah.
So I like the combination of both.
Love that.
So that's your 30s.
40s. This is definitely where we see collagen loss. You start to see some skin laxity.
Yeah.
A lot of my 40-year-old patients come in and they're starting to see this little jowl right here, or they're feeling like their jawline is less defined and moving forward.
You might be noticing smile lines, so like radial lines that are coming down the side of the face. All of that is indicative of collagen loss, losing that skin integrity that holds everything tight.
Agree. So structural support and skin tightening would be kind of my foundation, and you already mentioned filler in our 30s, but strategic placement of filler for anatomical changes would be crucial here.
So having an experienced injector to look and see where have you lost fat, what fat pads have shrunk. Is it your deep fat pads? Is it your superficial fat pads? And then going in and putting some volume back in that will kind of give you back that radiance and that usefulness back to your face for sure.
Yeah, and then probably laser resurfacing in this decade. We, again, like you said, these radial lines, we start to see this rippling in the skin, maybe a little laxity. So a good, solid laser resurfacing treatment can help that.
Yeah, I think if you get a really moderate to even aggressive treatment once a year, that's all you'll need in your 40s. Unless we're dealing with a lot of damage, a lot of, sun, a lot of issues. But if you've been doing good in your 20s and 30s, this is just the time to get a really solid laser treatment once a year.
Yeah. And we are, I think in my mind, I'm thinking that now, since we've mentioned Botox in the 30s, that still carries on into 40s.
Unfortunately, you don't get to stop.
We're picking the ones that we're prioritizing, but we still 100% think Botox maintenance.
Plus
Twice
your
a year,
skincare.
3 times, plus skincare. These are non-negotiables.
Yeah, those are things that have to age with you into your 40s. But once you get to your 40s, these are the things that we really start to look at. You're still doing those background things. Same thing in your 50s and 60s. So we haven't developed any sort of magic yet. Maybe it's coming.
For what?
For an all-encompassing everything, right? Like I get that question a lot from patients. If I have surgery or if I get filler, do I have to still get Botox? And I'm like, yeah, they do completely different things.
Well, yeah, that's just understanding.
But something might come out one day. I am hopeful for science.
A magic pill that
or just like a treatment that is all-encompassing, or maybe it's a skincare, or maybe it's the evolution of regenerative products that really change things.
But yes, it's just like, for instance, we have PTOX that says, that's a peptide blend that says, it's almost like a Botox in a bottle, and it's just not.
It is for the day. It is for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
I love, that reminds me of something though that I'm doing right now, because I haven't had Botox since September. So October, November, December, January. Woo. By the time this
When did I have
5
mine?
months.
Before yours?
I think.
So when did I have mine?
I'm pretty solid like every 5 months. So, but as I start to see movement come back, I will start to incorporate a lines type of product.
Okay.
Because I do think they work temporarily. They have known neuropeptides in them that help with fine lines, but they're temporary.
But
it's
I
just like
think-
if you do gua sha for the day, you
Yeah,
look great
yeah.
today.
Okay, so tell me this. Are you incorporating PTOX and interfuse lines? Because I know you love interfuse lines.
I gave up PTOX.
Okay, so is it interfuse
lines and the Revox from Revision?
Yep.
I'll use either one. I'm not going to use both. That's overkill. So I'll just pick one or the other to use. They both have injectable grade HA in them, and then they have the peptides, which is really what is calming down the lines.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't really work at the muscle layer, but it's going to work on the skin layer to smooth out the line for the day. Let me repeat myself. It literally is temporary.
And if your skin looks hydrated and healthy, it will, again, sort of look plump. Therefore, the lines won't look as aggressive. Okay, 50s.
This is true. Like if you've done nothing up until this point, this is truly where we are restoring. You are having to have full restoration, possible surgery and surgical considerations if we haven't already done that.
I agree. I think there's this myth that you have to have jowls down to your knees in order to have the facelift.
Right.
My philosophy is that if you're 50 and you're healthy and you have another 20 to 30 years to sort of quote unquote enjoy the facelift and enjoy the money you spend on it, go do it in your 50s.
I know.
I'm tired of people either being told no,
Or the fear. There's a lot of fear around surgery too, at least like in the treatment room.
Yeah, and that's totally understandable. I mean, going under anesthesia
But even the fear of looking weird.
that's understandable to me too. It's mostly coming from someone telling them you don't need it yet when
Because you're not old enough.
Correct.
Right?
It's like age is just a number.
Right.
Look at the anatomy. Look, if you are in the mirror and you're doing this, pulling back on your face,
And you're like, oh, that would make me look better.
you need a facelift.
Yes.
Not because you need it, but because what I can do in the treatment room
Does
won't
not do that.
satisfy you as much as a facelift will.
Right.
We cannot do this with filler. We can make it appear and look better.
Right.
But if you're doing this, I would go get a surgical consult.
Absolutely. And that's totally, like you said, totally fine. I think doing them earlier. Now, you've got some 30-year-olds who are kind of pushing the boundary of getting these like micro mini lifts, and probably not necessary. Because once you do a facelift, it's really, it makes it a lot more complex to do a second one. Mm-hmm. So, you have to choose wisely when you want to do it. I mean, hell, I might get to. I wouldn't be opposed, at 50 and then at 70. Sure. I've had a couple of patients who've gotten them in their like late 40s too. And I actually had a patient who had lost a ton of weight.
That makes sense to me.
A ton of weight.
Yes. In
in her 30s with a lot of neck laxity. And I was like, really, just go get a neck
There's
lift.
nothing that an injectable will do for you. And again, right, we're talking about aesthetic medicine. We're talking about cosmetic surgery. These aren't things that are necessary, but if it's something that bothers you and you have the means and you're healthy, go do it.
Well, yeah, this is a podcast on aesthetic medicine.
Well,
so,
I wanted to put that out there.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
We when we say you need this, it's not because your health is in jeopardy.
Right, you're not going to die.
These are all
you might die though, right? By being ugly.
she's off the Richter
But that's
scale
like
on
that
this
is a
episode.
personal decision, right? Like I will be in a retirement home one day once my husband dies, getting driven to my injector, which will hopefully still be you. Or I'm going to have to get a younger one.
Well, We're going to be doing our injectables together at the nursing home.
That's not to say that I need it, but like for me, it's a need.
I am right there with you. I mean,
a necessity.
How many times when my Botox wears off do I tell you how ugly I look?
It's evident by the 10 pictures that I get per day.
Me and Maddie, my medical assistant, we talk. So
old assistant.
Well, yeah, but we can still call her that because that's what she's in my heart. I was like, Maddie, what is going on? Like, is she a millennial or Gen Z?
Definitely Gen Z.
We're millennial. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was like, is there sort of this word that I'm experiencing? I feel like it's winter. I'm pale. I'm, fluffy. And she's like, yeah, Megan, it's called the winter uglies, and we're all going through it. And I was like, so you're saying I'm going through it?
So you're saying I'm ugly.
And she's like, don't worry, me too. I was like, that doesn't make me feel better. But at least there's a word.
But we did get spray tans not too long ago.
That was fun.
And the joy that it did bring back.
I mean, you looked at me at the airport and you're like, yeah.
You look better.
I was like, so I look better, more tan. Okay, anyways.
We digress.
We're on to our 60s, right?
Okay, so let's recap the 50s because it got a little wild there. Surgery is probably going to be your best bet. If surgery is off the table for health reasons or financial reasons, which, caveat, a lot of people think that non-surgical treatment options are less expensive.
They add up.
They're absolutely not, because they add up because you have to do so many different things all at once. So that's why surgery ends up sometimes even being a better option and a less expensive option, because you're able to really do a lot at once.
Another caveat, excuse me, that I wanted to add on is if you're going in and say you've had the surgery conversation, you're game, you're going to get that deep plane facelift, you still more than likely need Botox and need filler, because remember, surgery is going to remove excess skin and give you
Tighten
that
the
lift.
structures, yes.
But you've lost bone. You've lost, some fat pads. And I guess a deep plane facelift moves some of those, but you definitely still need Botox because it doesn't work on the muscles at all, and you most likely need some volume replacement still. And I think you should still get a laser.
Yeah.
So,
it just gets more expensive as you get older.
I wanted to add in this category too. In the 50s, you more than likely would benefit from some form of eye surgery, whether that's an upper bleph or you have kind of these bags here, and that would be a lower bleph.
All right, the last decade we're going to cover is 60s and beyond. So we'll just say 60s plus, because I have some patients who are in their 70s and 80s, and this kind of goes for everyone there, which is definitely, I think, even going back to your 50s. It's, if you've done nothing, surgery is your best bet. But let's just say like you're in your 70s and 80s, and again, I have my patients who come to me who get dropped off by their retirement home. She comes in for treatment.
I love that.
And she comes twice a year, and really what's going to benefit her the most is how she can look and feel in the mirror. And oftentimes I find that's with a laser or skin treatment. They, have a little bit of downtime. You're still able to take care of your skin, but it's going to give you that really refined look, and it lasts for a while. So she comes in twice a year, and it's normally, we're not doing Botox and filler. We're really just kind of giving her a nice little polish.
And she feels really great about her skin. Yeah. Again, going back to 50s, this would be our surgery era. But if we're not, we
50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, I feel like we might be past the surgical decade.
Okay, so should we recap starting at 20s and just for a refresher, or
20s,
does everyone
Botox and skincare. 30s.
Yeah, heavy on skincare. SPF. 30s, Botox for sure.
Sculptra for some collagen.
40s.
40s. Definitely
Filler.
You're getting filler. You're definitely getting a resurfacing laser. You're continuing Botox and skincare.
Yep.
Okay.
50s, you have some surgery conversations. You can still benefit from filler. I have plenty of 50-year-olds who can get away with just doing aesthetic treatments, and that's totally fine. We're not saying that you're wrong for picking one or the other. It's just this is where that surgery conversation really does come up, probably in your household, and I think it would be a good one to have.
And then 60s, definitely surgical intervention is going to be the best option for you. And then, 70s and 80s, we're kind of going back to the beginning of mostly skin treatments.
Yeah, agree.
So
I hope that helped.
All right, everybody, we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is where you can watch all of our episodes as they come out. Follow us at Do State as well, which is our skincare online retail, and we will see you guys next time.